Of course, since the removal of subsidy, Nigerians have been faced with some challenges in terms of PMS and diesel. But with the advent of the CNG, of course, this will be a thing of the past, and this is the thought of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You've heard how IPMAN intends to ensure that this PCNGi is a success. Right after now, let's listen to the thoughts of the National Program Coordinator and the CEO of the Presidential CNG Initiative. What ways can IPMAN collaborate to ensure that this is a success? What have been the successes so far of the PCNGi? These and more we get to hear from the man himself. I'm talking about the CEO and the program coordinator of the PCNGi. Don't go anywhere. Remain on your seats while I take you to this next conversation. Hello, you're welcome back from that short break. Of course, just before the break, you heard the president of IPMAN, that is Alhaji Abubakar Migandi Girima Shetima, talk about IPMAN's readiness to ensure the successful implementation of the presidential CNG initiative. Now, what better way to round up this conversation, this episode on IPMAN today on NTA Network. Remember, you're still watching NTA Network. My name is Afam. And right now, I'm with the CEO, the program coordinator of the presidential CNG initiative. I'm sure you're wondering who this young man is. For those of you who don't know him, this is the man himself. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
It's good to have you on IPMAN today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's more thanks for you being on the show today.
Yes.
Now, my president, that is the president of IPMAN, has been talking about CNG and IPMAN's readiness to key into CNG. But before we go further into key conversations, I'd like the viewers to get to know who you are. Can you introduce yourself for us, sir, please?
My name is Engineer Michael OLUWAGBEMI, the Chief Executive and Program Director of the Presidential CNG Initiative.
You are the program coordinator, the CEO, like you just said, of the PCNGi. And I'm sure those of you are wondering what is PCNGi, exactly what is the acronym? What acronym
Yes,
is
the Presidential CNG Initiative.
CNG is compressed natural gas. Yes.
Yes, and we have the mandate, of course, to support and incentivize the adoption of compressed natural gas fuel vehicles for mass transit, as well as other alternative forms of energy. We also have a mandate to promote the funding and financing of the infrastructure gap that exists, of course, for us to ensure that adoption is seamless. And last but not the least, to ensure that we develop a regulatory framework for the sector, for emerging natural gas, and even just the gas vehicle system. So that's what we are.
Okay, those are the vision of the PCNGi.
That's the mandate.
Okay, the mandate that is. Now let's talk about why exactly the president set up the PCNGi.
Well, first and foremost, it was born out of necessity, like everything else. The president's first policy pronouncement upon assuming office last year was the removal of the fuel subsidy.
Exactly.
Of course, naturally, that increases the price of petroleum. And the president figured out that it was imperative that we would provide an alternative to white products that currently fuels about 98% of vehicles in Nigeria. And that product that can provide that alternative that is cheaper, that is safer, that is more reliable and cleaner is natural gas. And the good thing is that natural gas is a predominant product under our feet here in Nigeria.
Yes.
We're a gas country that happens to have some oil. So the president's vision is that Nigeria's transport system should run on gas instead of running on diesel and PMS. And that this, of course, is cheaper. And because it's cheaper, it enables mass transit. Then people can have better lives. They can enjoy cheaper transportation. Our industries can be more competitive. More jobs will be created as a result of this work. And so I think that's an imperative.
Okay, now that's beautiful. Now, a lot of Nigerians are thinking, because the president and you just said that CNG is cheaper. And everybody's wondering how cheap. Now, in comparison to a liter of PMS, what is the cost difference for CNG?
Yeah, so
how is it measured? And then
the way you measure it is what is a GG, so that's the gasoline equivalent.
Okay.
So because you want to look at it in terms of the range.
Yes,
so
exactly.
If full gas, let me make it easy for you. A full tank of a small Toyota Corolla will probably take you about 400 kilometers.
Yes.
And that will require you to fill it up in Nigeria today between 45,000 and 50,000.
50,000 naira as a max.
Yes. The same Toyota Corolla running on natural gas, CNG, you fill it twice you fill a 75-liter tank, that's a CNG tank, twice to go on the same range. Maybe 2.5. Is that what?
At what cost?
Yes, so the cost for each fill, it will cost you about 2,500 naira. So
Really?
you end up spending about 5,000 naira for the same trip that would otherwise have cost you 45,000 to 50,000 naira.
5,000 naira?
Yes.
That is how cheap it is?
Yes.
How realistic is this, sir?
People are already enjoying it. If you go to Benin today, there are about 5,000 taxis.
No, you said Benin, that's Edo State.
Yes.
Realistically now, people are enjoying this.
In Abuja, you go to Nipco, you see Uber drivers and boat drivers filling up, having converted their vehicles. There was a testimonial of a young man last week that converted his vehicle and fixed it in Lagos, and he said 6,000 naira to convey from Abuja to Lagos. He has done it.
6,000
naira.
Took it from Lagos to Abuja.
And you know, if you take that journey today,
wow,
you know what it's cost you. Right. So,
I'm tempted to say that the only way I can believe this is to get my vehicle converted by you guys and get it filled up by you guys.
But we are
back on the trip.
We are not an auto mechanic workshop. PCNGi, our mandate is clear. Our work, first and foremost, is to enable the private sector. We are not, the president was clear that we are not to replace business. Our work is not to do business. Our work is to enable business. We are the catalyst. And you know, like any engineer will tell you, any scientist, the catalyst speeds up the reaction, does not participate. You are not participating in the reaction itself.
It speeds up the reaction.
Speed up the reaction. Yes. So our work is to speed up the adoption of natural gas vehicle in Nigeria. Our work is to enable that sector to thrive and grow. Our work is to make sure that businesses that enter the sector can do so with fully knowing that they can recover their investment, and it's good for Nigeria and it's good for Nigerians. I make a joke, but it's not a joke, that the chairman of this initiative is the #1 taxman in the country, Dr. Zachary.
Okay.
And so we cannot.
That's not a joke.
It's not a joke, yes, but the reality is that you cannot tax loss, so we need to tax profits, and so in order to get more tax revenue, I need to enable business.
Okay, that's a joke. I get what you mean.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about it, because this program is IPMAN today.
Yes.
Now, what collaborations are you looking at in terms of making this CNG a success? Because IPMAN believes that to ensure that this PCNGi is a huge success,
yes,
which they hope to make it, there needs to be a collaboration between IPMAN and the PCNGi. I'm sure you believe this, sir.
Yes, absolutely. IPMAN'S members have been very critical to where we are today.
Okay.
Like Nico and the rest of them.
Yes.
Bovas also. I mean, for us, we believe that the existing network of dispensing stations, yes, are very, very critical to expanding the reach of the refueling network that Nigeria needs to meet this natural gas future that the president has laid out. The president's dream is that the bulk of the majority of Nigerian mass transit vehicles, especially our buses and our, the Charons and the taxis and the boats and all this, will be running on natural gas. And the places where they will fill will have to be these outlets, oftentimes operated by IPMAN members. And some of them, right now, the NMDPRA have already come up with guidelines that allows existing filling stations to have an add-on of CNG dispensing. And so IPMAN members will be that. And so for us, is how do we encourage them to?
Yes, I'm going to ask you that. So how do you encourage them to be part of it?
As members of IPMAN, you're already
key players.
Yeah, you're already key players in this sector. I mean, you're already dispensing white products.
Yes.
So this is just a different application of the same funding that you've already been applying for. I believe that you are better positioned than somebody who's absolutely new to the sector, has not done this before.
To be able to
have another, yes, because you already have the infrastructure, you have the physical layout, you already have your CEO. I mean, you're operating a dispensing station. If somebody is coming in new into the sector, they'll have to build a new station completely.
Yes, certainly.
Exactly. So I think IPMAN members are well positioned to be able to benefit from this.
So what's your final words on IPMAN today concerning PCNGi in Nigeria? Your final words to IPMAN members?
Yes. You are important stakeholders, and it is very critical that you participate in the future. I always say this, that your work as a businessman is to stay relevant, and every member of IPMAN is a business person.
Yes, so
and the government has indicated the future, which is good. It's a cleaner, cheaper, safer, more reliable, and of course a more sustainable system than our dependence on white products.
Yes,
right.
Exactly.
And I think that IPMAN members have an opportunity to key into this, to invest in it, and we are here to enable them to do so. And don't let anybody tell you that we cannot do it. Nigeria is one of 2 countries in the world that built a new capital in the last 50 years. If we can build Abuja, occupy it, and that's more than 5 million residents, putting CNG in all parts of Nigeria is easy peasy.
It's easy busy.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You've heard how the program coordinator, I'm sure, right, the program coordinator and the CEO of the PCNGi had to say concerning CNG in Nigeria. He knows that IPMAN are critical key players to ensure the enormous success of the PCNGi, just like I've been saying on this program. Yeah, so to make it a success, IPMAN has to be part of it, and he knows that IPMAN has to be part of it. What a wonderful way to round up this conversation on today's episode of IPMAN Today. Many thanks for being with us, sir.
It's a pleasure.
And I hope to have you again, probably next week or upper week on the program to talk more about what you'll be doing and how far you've gone again, probably in the next few days.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
This is IPMAN Today. My name remains Afamukone. I'll be back after this short break. Don't touch your remotes. What a wonderful way to round up today's edition of IPMAN Today. Is all about PCNGi. You've heard the president of IPMAN talk about PCNGi, and you've also just heard from the horse's mouth, I'm talking about the program coordinator and the CEO of the presidential CNG initiative. They both share the same thoughts. They both want IPMAN to become key players in the successful implementation of the PCNGi. Of course, right now, I'll draw the curtains, and this is the part where I hate the most, where I have to draw the curtains on today's edition. Keep watching NTA Network. Keep watching IPMAN Today. Remember, NTA Network continues with the Sublime Broadcasting. My name remains Afamukone. This is IPMAN Today.